Good morning, everybody. This is Lisa in Connecticut, Connecticut Worms and Gardens. I hope everybody's off to a good start of the week. I want to share with you today an idea that I tried that worked out rather successfully, and it is using these drink cups. I think these came from Dunkin' Donuts, but I'm not positive, or drink cup holders. And what happens when you tear them up and put them in a blender? Now, this was a good blender. Actually, it still is a good blender. I call it my utility blender. I don't use it much for food, and I'm not concerned about if something fails. It's okay because I've gotten so much use out of this. I It has lived its lifetimes 5 for me. So let me pause this. I am going to tear these drink cups up, and then the video will continue. Okay, so I've torn up one of the drink cup holders. The other one is here. I haven't experimented with putting in two yet. And I'm going to turn the blender on high. And of course, I will edit the audio out of this video before you get it, because this blender is really loud. Okay, that should be enough. Now, this does get dusty, so if you're someone that is sensitive with your lungs, wear a mask or stand back while it settles a little bit. It's not as bad as, say, eggshells, but it a little bit does get airborne, especially when you pour it out. I'm standing back from it just to let it settle, and I'm going to dump it out. I have a bowl here so you can see. Let me dislodge the blender. Okay, here we go. So let me take out the blade. And again, you can see some of the fibers. Basically, what this does, these drink cups are made by paper pulp being incredibly compressed. They wet them and they compress them. And this is just decompressing it, turning it back into its pulp form. Let me pour it out. Our smoothie is complete. Let's have a serving. There we go. Now, I know you can't feel this. I wish you could, but this is fluffy, powdery, soft. It kind of reminds me of the Carefresh hamster bedding, and I believe that's what the hamster bedding is made from. Again, you can see if I fluff it, there's a lot of particles, and you can just look at the back of my hand and see all the particles. But this is the softest material now, and I just add this to one of my worm bins, or to my urban worm bag, or the worm factory, whatever needs bedding, as some bedding. It is a pure carbon source, but it isn't dense. Even when it gets wet, it doesn't compact because it's so loose and fluffy. There's so much air in it that it doesn't really pack down. Now, I should say I did try tearing one up and putting it in the blender and wetting it, and it just turned into a big mess. The pieces didn't break down. It broke into a few pieces and then became a yucky, stiff mess. So if you do want to add water to this, do it after the fact. I usually dampen it a bit and add it right into my big bin of pre-made worm bedding as an additive, or directly into a bin that maybe I've had too much moisture in or needed something on the top. I have used this to bury foods that maybe don't smell so great, some of the brassicas and whatnot. Some of the nightshade vegetables can get pretty stinky in the house when you're vermicomposting them. So, well, that's it, folks. Maybe you've seen this before. I didn't copy it. I came up with it because I had a bunch of these and I was tearing them up. I don't let anything go in the trash if it doesn't have to. And I tried it in my magic bullet, and that didn't go so good. It did, but it would have taken me a week. So I said, well, let me get out the blender, and that worked. So go ahead, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you know someone else who would like it, please share it. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please do, and ring the notification bell to get notified when I release future videos. That's all for now, everybody. Again, have a great day. I finished the drink cup holders I had, and I found these that I had saved. These are much more hard and stiffer. These are from some sort of appliance that was purchased, and they were on the top and the bottom, and they're really not bendable. I mean, they're not supposed to be. They're supposed to protect what was ever in the box. And I've never tried blending these before, so I thought, since I'm doing this video, let me try it so you don't have to and ruin your blender. Oh no, look it. I had this near my worms, and I see worm jerky inside. A little guy. Sorry, little guy. Well, now you're going to be blended and be food for your friends. Maybe your mommy. Oh, that's a terrible thing to say. Okay, so let me tear these up and we'll give them a whirl. All right, so since this is much stiffer and much less flexible, I was only able to get a half of one of these in the blender. So let's turn it on, and you won't hear this part, but you'll see it. Let's see what it does. Okay, that actually, based on its appearance, it's done. I put a rag over the top because there's a little thing on here where you can add liquids while things are blending, and I noticed a little bit of the dust was coming out, so just to protect my lungs, I did have a mask on, by the way, and I just threw that rag over it. But this looks done, and that was about half the time of the drink cup. Neither took long. It's under a minute. And let's see, make sure it's not a dust bomb. It looks okay. So I will pour it right into the other one that's not yet torn up. And you can see all the fiber particles on there. So this is really, you know, I'm a big fan of not putting anything in the garbage. I do recycle as much as I can, but prior to recycling something, I try to turn it back into earth somehow, either composting or trenching it in my garden or feeding it to the worms, because that is what better than to turn something that could be trash into something nutrient dense. Okay, wow, this is so soft. If you could feel this, it is so soft. So the drink cup, or rather the electronics protector that this is in, is what it came from. And now this is just such nice additive to any worm bin. You could even use this in your garden if you have soil that is compacted and doesn't hold water well. You need, you know, if you use perhaps vermiculite or perlite, that's what I was trying to say. You could use something like this, because this will, if you put it around the roots of your plants, either in the ground or above, this is going to hold water really nicely and slowly release it. So, all right, I just wanted to jump back on here and do this part because I hadn't done it before, and I wanted to see if it would work before anybody tried putting something more stiff in their blender. All right, folks, well, I've got some more cardboard blending to do in my utility blender. So, again, thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Thank you.